Arunachala, 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 Shiva, 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 Shiva. Thoughts arise from the ocean of the self. It is all taking place in the presence of you. Even the full flight of the mind. There is an inner stillness, a deeper seeing going on. Be one with this, to stay as a witness. Be one with this, just be the witness in the sea. I will change, transform into quietness in the sea. I will change, transform into silence. Be one with it, to stay as a witness. Be one with it, just be the witness. Thoughts rise, calling you to play. Something gravitates, something goes out. Attention is drifting. What watches this? Even the full flight of the mind. The movement is quiet. From listen to play, there is an inner stillness, a deeper seeing going on. Be one with this, to stay as a witness. Be one with this, just be the witness. Be one with this, to stay as a witness. Be one with this, just be the witness. One wish, one prayer, one reason I'm here. One focus, one desire, the only purpose of my life. It is for you, 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 it is for you. sense you to always be in your embrace. My heart belongs to you. My heart is only yours. It's all for you. 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 You are my only focus. All else disappears. I die in you. I is no longer here. There's only you. 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 Nothing to hold on to, nowhere to go, no burdens to carry anymore, no concepts to vary. This life is for you. This life is for you, beloved, beloved. So where would I go now? And you show me I'm motionless. And what could be rejected here in this vast emptiness? This life is for you, only for truth. This life is for you, beloved. Such a sweet discovery to see the walls of illusions fall. I cannot die. I cannot die. Yes, I cannot die. Ave, oh, stellare. Only for you. This is true, beloved, most beloved.
Beloved, all that you perceive is transient, is passing. But you are the unchanging one, timeless and perfect. Rid yourself of all delusions and come lay down here in the silence of me. For unlike time, you are not passing. You are the formless within all forms, the silence and stillness inside all movements of time and manifestation. Arise into the fullness of your real nature as the unchanging self, the goal and source of all being. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you, my dear. Namaste, everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Mujiji ki Jai. Today's question answers day. Open. Okay, so what I'd like to do is, some of you are new to Satsang, those can ask first. And then those who have been there for some time, they can come. Mic is not connected.
Yes, she's right. She's right. Now it must be better, no? Yes? Okay. Mm-hmm. You want to come? Very good. She says she doesn't have questions, but she's happy to be here. Do you know why you came?
I don't know why I came.
Is it on? Yes.
I fell in love with Muji Baba.
Yes.
And then I saw your satsangs online, a few of them. And I was impelled to come and put my head at your feet. I couldn't help it. Just had to be here.
So before you came, you felt you had a question?
There were a few questions.
Tough to get them back?
Yes,
They don't seem so relevant now.
yes, I don't think they seem as relevant now. I'll still go ahead
Yes,
and ask.
please.
I think the question that keeps coming up again and again. About awakening your true self, and all the stories that we've read
Yeah.
of the different masters
Yeah.
who've woken up. Like the stories we've read about, I remember reading this about Major Chadwick, who, and then, different people like
What
Brian
happened? What
Katie.
happened with Major Chadwick?
I-
He went to Bhagwan and then?
Yes, and then I think he'd asked something, and then Bhagwan had told him who is the one who's asking this question,
Yeah.
and then he was spellbound, and then I think he went back to his room and room for a few days,
Yeah.
and then he was not thinking of anything at all, and then suddenly he says that while he was having a bath in
Yeah.
the bathtub, so many times, it struck him what Bhagwan had said, and he awakened to his true self. And
Did he run out shouting Eureka, Eureka? No.
something like Archimedes also did that, right? Yes. So it seems that all these masters and people who have woken up, like even Brian Katie or Eckhart, it seems that
These were pretty sober, no? Relatively, these two were.
yes. So like Muji Baba and yourself and everybody else, they say that we're already that, right? It still seems like there is something that has to unfold, and for you to be established in that, and then you see everything in you, everything from a fresh pair of eyes, as if, right? So what is it that has to really? What is it that, because if you're already in that, established in that so beautifully, is it just a shift of power? Is it something that has to happen, and then you say it's not happening, right? So, but then you're looking at it from a different pair of eyes altogether. The world is different and it's beautiful and happy. So is it the shift of, like you say, from the mind to the heart, that journey, that has to, it has those words of Bhagwan or yourself have to land in the heart, and then it just happens. I guess that was what I was thinking.
Okay, okay. This is good. So, so what we can do is, this is good. There are a few aspects to the question, isn't it? One is that we started with experiences and why different so-called beings seem to have different experiences of awakening. So let's keep that question for the end about the experiences. So let's, if you can forget about it, forget about it. But the other question is more relevant. What is it that needs to happen, and what are we doing here, isn't it? That's more relevant. This happens between the sage, so to speak, and myself, and how do I fill the gap if there is any, isn't it? Okay, so let's deconstruct it. Actually, it's not easy to deconstruct, but let's see if we can. So the first aspect is that the recognition of who you are should happen. You see? So this recognition, who am I in reality, needs to happen. So when you check on this question, who am I, to get to this recognition, then what is your discovery? So what's your discovery? It doesn't have to be articulate, just whatever is coming up. Yeah.
Definitely not to do with me at all as a person,
Okay.
right? Not at all to do with.
So you see that I cannot be a person. Okay.
Yes.
Then what else could you be? What else is here? You can do niti niti on it, no? So
Yes.
cannot be this world, cannot be this body. It's okay. Tell me when it gets stuck in some way.
Yes, sure.
Cannot be this body. Can you be your thoughts, coming and going? Can you be your emotions? Can you be some sensation in the body, some physical pain? No. Can you be the sense that I am, I exist? Can you be that? Is it clear what this means, the sense I am?
Yes, there is a sense.
That I exist. So can you be that?
Perhaps, yes. Seems like that.
Yes. And the one that is aware even of this sense, who is that one? So we walk together this way. Now we saw not world, not body, not thoughts, not emotion. I am aware of even this sense that I am. So this one that is aware, what can we say about that one?
That's the awareness you talk about always, right?
So better to forget what you heard before.
Yes.
Just stay here and see. So there is an awareness even of the sense that I exist. And if this is not clear, we can look at it again.
Yes, absolutely. That's clear. Yes.
It's clear. So this awareness, what does this awareness look like?
It's just there.
And where are you in relation to this?
Sometimes I'm looking from there.
Okay, where else? Possible?
It's always possible to look there.
Can you step out of that awareness? So if you can't step out of it, do you need to be in it effortfully?
No.
Effortlessly, where are you?
From that watching itself, yes.
Can you ever move away from this? Can you ever become something else?
Actually not.
Actually not.
No.
You're not visualizing anything, no? Even if the mind is offering some visual to you, some see who is the witness of even that visual. So when we say, are you aware now? What is your answer?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. What does this awareness look like?
It's just there.
Just here. Any attributes you can say?
It's just looking right. That's it.
So this is the only confirmation that you can make without the phenomenal experience of it, isn't it?
Yes.
Everything else that we are confirming, we are referring to the phenomenal experience of it. When you say, I am aware now, you're not finding the phenomenal attribute of it, and yet you know it is true. Not mentally, but it is so clear prior to mind.
Yes.
Yes? And you see that this cannot be changed. It's unmoving, unconcerned, unlabelable. So like this, when we come to satsang, the first aspect is this recognition of what is true. And I feel using the pointers of the masters, it's become very simple now. You see? So this is the first aspect. When you say what is the difference between myself and a sage like Guruji, then first is this recognition is very clear. So it's very good that we are able to inquire together and look at this. It seems like when I'm not in satsang, it seems like a lot more distractions come. It doesn't seem as clear as it is now. You see? That's why it's good to be in the energetic presence of satsang to be able to check, yes, it's so clear. So this is the recognition. So does the recognition itself mean liberation? Not necessarily. Because what happens is, although it is a very helpful aspect of liberation, it is not necessarily that which we call the completion of the liberation, because we might still go back into belief.
Absolutely.
I'm believing that which I am not. You see, because the recognition was what? I am this awareness. It is not changing, nothing is happening to it, it's just here. But our mind is not reporting like this. Our mind is still trying to convince us that we are a person in some way, including trying to convince us that I got it now, or something like this. You see? So this mind has been given a lot of belief in the past. You see? So the difference between the sages and the rest of humanity is that they are not, one, they have had a clear recognition of who they are, and second, they are not believing what the mind is saying about them.
To be established in that. Always.
Yes, actually, the established is how you start the moment. This is a little contrary to our idea of establishing or abiding. But I'm a bit radical in that way, so, and I'm happy to look at it together. You start now, established, no? You are abiding. So the only seeming choice now seems to be whether you pretend to be a person or not. And the only way to pretend to be a person is to believe your thought. Is there any other way? Yeah. So every moment is your best friend now. You are established, you are abiding as the self. In fact, you never leave this position. You only pretend if you believe our thoughts. So the power of belief is our power to pretend. God's power to pretend. So you want to see God pretending to be a person? Believe your next thought. You see? So then what happens as we stay like this, not believing our thoughts, not picking up from the conveyor belt of thoughts, then you find the magnetism of these thoughts reduces. You see? As the magnetism of these thoughts reduces, then you find that they're not so much attractive even to our attention. You see? So instead of trying to control our attention too much, what we've done is we've divested our belief And with the divestment of belief, you find that attention is also not so attracted to these thoughts. So then you had a clear recognition of who we are, and also that all these thoughts are allowed to come and go. Then even in your phenomenal expression, there is no difference between you and a sage. Fundamentally, there was never any difference anyway, isn't it? In reality, we are that. That is what all the sages are saying. But even in the phenomenal expression, and we are not attracted to the gravitational pull of these thoughts, to the magnetic pull of these thoughts, then your worldly expression also becomes that of a sage. That's about it. So happy you came.
Very happy. I love Papaji also.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it when I saw that you're in Bangalore. You know?
Yeah.
Right here. All these books
Keep
on
little close.
Vedanta. They
All
make
the
it
books
sound
on
so
Vedanta,
esoteric.
yes.
And well, it's actually quite clear. There's nothing wrong with the books. It's just,
Yeah.
I think when the time when you're reading the same words, they seem to have a different
meaning. Yeah.
isn't it? Like
Yes.
it seems like that all the while I was reading the same Rumi poem, and the depth from I think Muji Baba's and your satsangs, they made it so clear. Otherwise, it was all
Yeah.
so many
Yes.
concepts and so many different, and then it makes it so clear and obvious.
So what has happened is that we are moving from the realm of interpretations. You see? So we've been interpreting them differently, and now we come to the realm of just the pure seeing of it. So as you see that, oh, yes, of course, he's just saying what is being seen here. So the words of the expression are very beautiful, but that which is directly is just the same. So now in the same way, when you read the Ashtavakra or Ribhu Gita, you say that this is just so fundamental. You see? That which seemed so esoteric and maybe even mystical earlier,
Yes.
now will seem just like kindergarten.
Yes. Almost do away with it now and just,
Yes, don't come to any conclusion.
yes.
Is
It's
it?
right about that.
Because the mind offers up, even now, will offer up strategies to say, yes, you're here now you can do it.
So
Just
right about that.
just
Yeah.
let it go. You don't need to renounce anything except the next thought. Where have you been all this time, all these years? Anyone else who's new to Satsang, you're welcome to come first. To come. Please come. Take your time. We have enough time.
Ever since I saw you in Rishikesh, I knew I'll be here. I keep, shifting between the convenient reality.
Yeah.
There is something which put me at ease when I want to be in that state, but I somehow just go back to that pretentious state, and later on it becomes too far to even realize that I am there. I get confused between going by techniques or going by the inquiry of who am I. One thing that I know that this is the truth is because whenever I ask who am I am at peace. After that again the play begins.
But when you do ask who am I, the byproduct is that peace comes. But what is that you discover about yourself?
I experience nothing.
Yes.
When I ask that question, there isn't anything there. But in a minute I begin back. I don't know what to do.
This don't know is very auspicious. This don't know is very auspicious. So now what is happening is that you've been looking for various things, you see, and you felt that they will give you some peace. Now you've looked even at spirituality and even the inquiry, who am I, to get you to a place of peace, happiness, joy. But it doesn't work like that. And you might be surprised to hear this. It doesn't work like that because the point of the inquiry is to actually demolish all ideas about this one, which itself is presuming to look for peace. So as long as allegiance is there to this one, who wants peace, who wants happiness, then it continues to be the delusion of the non-existent one. Because this one we cannot find. The body doesn't want freedom. The body doesn't want to inquire. Who is the one that wants peace? That is really the inquiry, isn't it? The inquiry is not to give peace to this non-existent one, but to show you that this one doesn't exist in the first place. So you say that there is nothing. When I inquire, and who is the witness of that nothing? The imagined one. The person cannot participate here because the person is just trying to figure out a way to be relevant in this discussion. Isn't it? It's completely left behind. We're at realms which are prior to the birth of the universe. And here, this ego that we had about ourselves tries to be a participant. But it cannot be because it cannot fathom this.
Sometimes it's too difficult to differentiate.
Yeah.
Just gets caught.
Mm.
Sometimes you just get carried away, thinking that you're doing the right thing, and
Okay, so don't think about it and get carried away and show me. No, don't go there. Just get carried away without going to the mind. Getting stuck with what?
the feeling of getting stuck, I guess.
No, just the sense of stuckness, or there is an idea of stuckness. You can differentiate between the two, isn't it?
I think it's an idea.
Idea. You're getting stuck, but without that idea, and without the idea doesn't mean that the idea should not appear. Only that idea is allowed to come and go. That's it. You're getting stuck. You're getting stuck. Let it come and go. So what? No power can force your belief. You see? It's just a simple habit that we picked up. The person identity is just a belief, a collection of beliefs. As you start playing with this, as you start seeing, one, that I don't find this person, then in that itself your belief will start to get dissolved. And then as you recognize what you really are, then all of this will start to lose its power. Here, the game of pretending to be a person will dissolve more and more. But you cannot, you can try, but you cannot really sit on two chairs at the same time. You cannot say, I will keep my person for this, for my work, for this and that, but then I want in satsang, I will get the truth, but I will try to juggle both of these. It does not work, and it just serves to prolong the journey. And it is based on the idea that outside of satsang, I need the identity to function, which is not true. Even work can happen without the identity of the worker. You see?
Yeah, I'm really struggling with that. So when I go back, I feel so really shitty about it. But Sometimes I feel so helpless.
Where are you? You're in Bangalore now, or?
Yeah, I moved to that.
Life will make the space to align with your innermost urge. So if your innermost urge now is the recognition of the truth and the letting go of that which is false, you will find that life makes the space. Don't try to do something about it. This dualship actually is one of the strongest pillars of the ego. If there is a desire in you to play with both ends of the spectrum, the lila and the truth, then that is how this manifest will appear. And as that becomes clearer and clearer, I just want the truth of who I am, then you will find that trust and devotion in that which is running this life will take care of even this body, that will increase, and also you will find yourself more and more in the inquiry and in satsang.
I find it so difficult to trust.
You don't have to even do that. Even that is being done on its own. The development of trust can be very simple. All you have to do is just see how what is being shared in satsang, how it is, play with that, experiment with that, and you see that it helps. You see, and as you see some things really work, then that more trust gets developed. So as trust gets developed more and more, as you hear the words of satsang and imbibe them, then you find that one day, without even making a switch like that, you find that not just trust but devotion is here on its own. You see? Because the love is already here. So love mixed with faith, mixed with trust is devotion. But yeah, this actually is very good space to be in. What's going on? This is good. That means we're not, this I don't knowness can seem a bit uncomfortable, but it's actually very auspicious. And as you get used to this grayness of I don't know, this openness of I don't know, you see, then you will find that you don't need to rest on conclusions all the time. The mind is saying, make a conclusion, get to some conclusion. What do I do now? You see, what am I supposed to do? You see, all of this, as we get used to not having any of this conclusion, then we get used to our truths, which is not based on these mental conclusions. The mind is pushing some conclusion, pushing some interpretation. If you allow them to come and go, you find that this is so simple what we speak about here. Because we're used to buying ideas like I don't trust enough, you should do better at this, you should manage your things better, you should only be in satsang, you should only be at work. It will keep switching all these ideas on you. Don't worry about them. Let them come and go.
Be an observer of the ideas.
Yes, yes. If it is possible just to simply keep your attention in that way, that you're just observing, very good.
Sometimes when I reach that space, that not knowing anything,
Yeah.
but suddenly fear gets in.
Yes. Yeah.
It feels very suffocating
Yes. Yes.
sometimes.
Yes. Yes. Actually, the last couple of weeks I've been speaking about this a lot. This primal fear, this dropping of the identity to the mind is death. You see? So when Bhagwan Maharaj said that you have to go through your death to find your freedom, this is what he meant. Because this not knowing, this neutrality, you see, feels wobbly, suffocating, shaky, fear comes, you see, and we want to do what? We want to run and hide behind a concept. The mind will offer us something, but he gave you the answer. This was it. You see, just do that, and you buy that. You see, just to get away from this. But if you can take the wobbliness for some time, if you can take the fear, let it pass, then you see that you get comfortable with that not knowing, this neutrality. And as you get more and more comfortable with the not knowing, in fact, you'll start enjoying this. You see, then you go to the movie, not knowing what the next scene is like. You see, we want to make interpretations and judgments, which takes away the joy from the present moment. This not knowing, you don't know what the next moment is going to be. You don't know what I'm going to say in the next 5 seconds. Enjoy this movie, you see. That is when we are truly meeting life. Otherwise, we are meeting our ideas of life. So let it shake, let it fear come, let it happen. What will happen? All these energetic movements will become like popcorn for you. It's not such a big deal. Oh, fear is coming. Okay. It feels a bit shaky in this not knowingness. And it's okay. Let it shake about. What's your favorite food? What?
I think it's biryani.
Okay, biryani. Okay. So you're in this. Have you heard me say talk about this conveyor belt? Of no, you haven't. So this example comes from an actual restaurant in London, which is called Yo Sushi. So what happens in this restaurant is that you're sitting at your tables, and there's an actual conveyor belt which comes across all the tables with all the dishes over there. So whatever you like on the conveyor belt, you just pick up. You don't have to order. You don't have to do anything. So the mind is like this conveyor belt. It will bring various ideas to you. So you can just allow them to come and go. Now suppose that you love biryani so much that you can't resist when it comes on the conveyor belt. So then you will find that initially this impulse will be there when the biryani is crossing. You can smell it coming with all the saffron and everything. You can smell it, and then you think maybe just one last one. Yeah, you pick it up. Just like this, the mind will offer you concepts. Because saying, oh, but this not knowing is too scary, you see, it's too crazy, you know. So all these concepts will come. All your concepts of unworthiness, not doing it right, all these will come. Because these are your favorite concepts. You've indulged in them, and now there is a habit to pick them up. So the mind uses these opportunities to offer these up in the conveyor belt. So all we have to do is not to pick up. Initially, it can seem like effort. You see, initially it can seem like effort. So when I say that there is no practice or no effort here, actually it is true. See, because actually it is in the picking up that the effort is. But because our habit has been to pick up, it seems like there is effort not to pick it up. So as long as that feels like effort, my suggestion has been that go ahead and make that effort. And not pick it up means nothing. It only means allow it to come and go. Let the conveyor belt keep moving. You don't buy anything from that. You will buy. Everyone buys, you see, something or the other. So when you do buy, then don't buy the next one, which will be the guilt one. See? So the mind will come and say, see, now you're such a bad boy, you picked up the biryani and he told you not to, then you pick up that one. See? And then it'll come, oh, you're such an unworthy seeker, you'll never make it. You pick up that one. Not to do that. If you picked up one, it's fine. Don't pick up the next. That's it. We start with the salad actually. Okay, now that I started, I might as well have the main course and might as well have the dessert. You see, this is how conditioning keeps increasing. Hmm? So if you picked up the salad, then don't pick up the dessert. If you picked up everything, don't pick up the next meal. There's nothing to feel guilty here. There is no perfection to be attained. And as you allow your thoughts to come and go, then what happens? You'll notice a shift in the quality of your attention. See? So if your attention is like a fist which is holding on to things, see, and you let it go, then it just opens up. All of us can play with this if you like. Like concentrated either with our thoughts or some content in the phenomenal realm. But as we open the fist of our attention, we find that our perspective becomes more global. This is the letting go, this is the openness. So allow your attention free. This is how to be tension free, if you allow your attention free. You'll see that if you find yourself stressed or tense about something, your attention will be closed up in a fist like this. If you allow it to let it go, some ease will come. Used to doing, trying to get it right, trying to make it. And even in this spirituality, in the self-discovery, we try to use the same rules, but they don't apply, which is why it is so frustrating. I try, this, and you're naturally resting into who we are. This is a simple recognition. So let your attention free, allow your thoughts also to come and go. Just don't give your belief to anything at all. Keep your belief in your pocket and set the world free, including your own body. You have maybe some concepts about the body, leave them also. Just catching up with the chat. So the question is from Zia. She says, who is it that is going to believe or disbelieve their next thought? Yes. I'm sorry, Father, if I'm being an Advaita jerk. No, it's a very good question. But it has been seen over and over again that no matter what I do, when there is suffering or belief in thought, that it drops on its own accord. Yes. No one is doing anything. Inquiry is the play. Who will abide as I am? Who is not believing their thought? Even when a ridiculous thought comes, the body still reacts in sensation as if the thoughts were true. Very good. And then you say, my internet went and now the hangout is full. But if you reply to my question statement, I'm watching on YouTube, Father. It's very good to inquire into this. So these primal powers, attention and belief, who do they belong to? When it is said, bring your attention to your nose, for example, who is it that moves the attention to the nose? You see? The person doesn't know how to do this. The person is non-existent. And yet, there is some direction given to the attention. So who is here that does that? It is the only one, the manifest presence, which is this consciousness itself. So does consciousness need to hear from consciousness itself that you must not be believing your next thought? Not in the ultimate reality, but in the play. You see? So in this play, we have the entire realm of expressions which appear and this must become a better person, you must be honest, you must make some money, you must have better relationships, you must take care of the body in this way or that. And who's doing all of that? That is also consciousness. You see? Once it is clear that all there is consciousness, then no instruction, no pointing actually is necessary. But I'm still an active participant in the play. And there is still identity, personal identity playing out in any aspect of life, including in our spirituality. Till then, this instruction, this pointing is valid. You see? This is how the play has been designed. The urge starts to the recognition of the self and the dropping of that which is false. Then along with that urge, then in the appearance in the realm, you will also find the appearance of the master who is seeming to provide direction because we got used to not relating to that which is formless. We are unable to come to this recognition and dropping of the false belief. That is why consciousness itself manifests this form as a master to say, What is keeping you stuck is only your belief in thought. Now, if you're not believing any thought, then this pointing is not needed. You see? But if you're believing thoughts about other things, other topics in our life, then don't say, but who's there not to believe? You see? The same one, actual same one, who can pick up or not pick up on the conveyor belt of food is the same one who can pick up or not pick up on the conveyor belt of thoughts. Only that one is present as presence itself. That is why we say that this is just a monologue that consciousness is having. Actually, the entire realm is just a monologue that consciousness is having. This monologue has a different quality to it, because the rest of the talk in the world is about separation. This is about how to drop the separation. Now, if no separation is experienced, then no pointing is needed. You see? And for this, we need to use our power of smell in some way. So if you can smell that in every aspect of life there is only oneness, then what pointing is needed? Nothing. But if you can still smell that there is identity playing somewhere, you see, then use this pointing. And as you see more and more that there is no doer here of anything at all, and you'll find that all of this is one play. What is the best test of that? That in our neutrality, we don't find any form of resistance. So once it is seen that there is no doer, then any pointing, even don't believe your next thought, will not be resisted, because there's nothing, it just flows in your neutrality, you see. Because if something is opposing something which is appearing, then where is that coming from? What is at the root of that? You see? Find out if the one that is saying that this is not valid for me, is that a tangible entity, or who is that one? You're still in gray. Once you come in color, then maybe you can speak something about this. You see? Because the same things can be said in two ways. You see? What you say can be said in two ways. One is that, oh wow, this is such a joyful discovery, that there is nobody here to believe or not believe thoughts. Who is to do this? Wow, this is amazing. You see? The second is to say, oh, but who's here to not believe my thoughts? So is this a discovery or is this a defense? That is what you have to check, isn't it? What I'm longing to hear from all of you is this perfume of it being the discovery, to say, yes, there is no concern here about suffering, there is nobody here, there is nothing which touches anything here. Even belief, disbelief, attention, all of these things are not my concern anymore. God is playing like God is playing. And this. You see? So we can inquire into this and see whether this is coming from a sense of just openness. And then these words, don't believe, our next thought will just be heard like music. You see? You know, there's nothing to do about it because there's no, you're not even identified with consciousness to believe or not believe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, what is the best test of that? If you find that there is still a sense of suffering, then it cannot happen without our belief in some idea and some thoughts. So it's very good if we remain open like this and we keep checking. I feel we've lost a moderator actually, isn't it? He's not able to ungray you. Can someone else log in as the moderator if Ram is not able to come? Ram is here. I see. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, there he is. But he's not here. Yes, he logged in, but he's just the curtains are waving. We don't see Ram. And probably his parents came and said, "Why aren't you studying?" Okay. So we'll wait for Ram to come. Till then, Anilji wants to ask something. Come, my dear.
Namaste, Bhagwan.
Namaste.
Bhagwan, my wife is here having the breakfast, and actually, this is for her. So,
We don't hear you, my dear.
but on the laptop, we are hearing you very feeble. So, you have to raise your volume probably.
You need to connect the black wire. It already came, someone? Music was coming, yes. Oh, built-in output. Yes. Okay, this is good. Okay. Yes, you can come, my dear. You can come.
You are asking me to come?
Yes, you can say we can hear you now.
Yeah. Bhagwan, it is like this that Bhagwan Muji told my wife that she is a pure spirit. Okay, and there is no doubt that, in all aspects, she is my guru, the very first guru.
Yes.
Okay, and I have given her a lot of suffering because of my nature, very aggressive and all that stuff. And she has put up with me, for many years like this. Now, what she says is that, first of all, I have a habit of getting stuck in something or the other. And she says, now I have found a spirituality basically.
Yes.
The whole day I'm just saying self, and it is a kind of the obsession for me. Now, this obsession actually is a kind of a mental disorder for me also, right since childhood.
Yes.
I get stuck, like what they say, OCD kind of a thing. So, obsessive compulsive disorder. She says that you have caused me a lot of suffering, and that is true also. And now what is happening, that there is no suffering for me as such. I don't suffer. I cause suffering to others.
Yes.
Now, it's a very practical aspect. So I have always caused suffering, not because I intended any harm or hurt to anybody, And I always told her that there is no intention here. It just happens. She says that it is a very convenient excuse.
Yes.
And now what is happening, for 20 days I have not gone out of my apartment. I'm just sitting on the couch, and the anxiety is still less, but still, even if, like, it is all one God's play, and myself and my wife, we both understand it and we sense it, still the role of the person, or the role, in this realm, basically, how do I know whether I'm playing it well or not? How do I know whether, it is my excuse as a person to flee from my role?
Yes.
When
Yes.
I can't just escape, saying that no, no, no. It is very easy for me to simply disregard I am, and I know it is coming from, the personality itself. I cannot negate my existence, because this I amness and this real, it is too turbulent, and the personality does not want to get into this. Then there is another fear that I have to face it and transcend it. So the best thing is that you discard the I am, remain I am as a witness. If I remain I as a witness, then I cannot engross in the I amness activity. Either I can be a witness, or I can be there in the activity. I cannot be both at the same time, because I can either have an attention on the I, or in the activities of the I amness. Why this is happening? Because my personality is still there. Otherwise,
Yes.
I don't have to make any efforts.
Yes.
It will be a simple, unfolding of the life in the I amness, and then simply watching. But I am still there as a personality.
Very good. Two
So,
parts to this question that you asked.
yes,
Okay, let's
yes,
pause
Father.
here. Let's pause. So let's look at the second part first. You see, because there is an understanding here that the way that that personality plays out, which is manifesting as Anil right now, any sort of fodder to this personality, it will try to make a jumbled up, anxious mess out of it. That is why I've been consistent in my advice to you, which is that this I, which is trying to figure out what to do or not to do, you surrender that at the feet of my master, at the feet of Guruji. You see? Because I know that there, with this, it cannot fool around. With this instruction, it cannot really fool around. There's too much reverence for Guruji here, for this personality also to try to mess that up, mix it up in various things, try to put some other concepts to it or anything. You see? So there is nothing missing in this instruction, there is nothing lacking in this instruction. All that you have to do is surrender yourself at the feet of my master. It is completely clear and completely enough to do. So this one is as far as the second, because if I tell you, okay, who is the witness and who is aware of I am and what is I am, again it will mix something, it'll bring itself back into the fore somehow, you see. So we don't want to do that. And there might be an impulse that, oh, I want to do that, but keep that aside. I know that the best pointing for you is this simple surrender, which your mind will hate actually ultimately, but your heart recognizes that it is the best. You see? So this is as far as the second part of the question was concerned. The first part actually, when you were speaking, was reminding me of my own married life. You see? So this is very good. And I remember that before I met Guruji, and maybe for some time even after I met Guruji, it was like this. She would come to me with some work-related problem or family-related problem, and I would start telling her, but who is the one facing a problem, or who is the and she would want to throw the plate at me. Saying, I'm talking to you about something else and you're talking about something else. It will feel like that. And the fact is that who was being the jerk here? I was. You see, who was being the spiritual jerk? Me. Because it was not coming from a place of wanting to be helpful. Maybe there was some of that mixed in, but actually it was trying to show her that what she is doing is wrong, what she is thinking is wrong. You see, so it was coming from the specialness. It was coming from a space of carrying a sword to cut her head off, instead of this knowledge being an umbrella to shelter us from rain. You see, so this knowledge for our close ones, for our loved ones, actually should serve as an umbrella and not as a sword. You see, it should help them. It should bring more love and light into our lives. You see? So this understanding I did not have till two things happened. One is that talking about this, which was, he said that you could be saying the truth. Every word coming out of your mouth could be true, but you could still be a jerk, you see. And Zia was saying earlier about Advaita jerk. Where is that you could be speaking the truth, you see. But if the words don't carry the fragrance of love, if they don't carry the fragrance of kindness, then we are still being jerks. You see, the spiritual jerk is the worst form of jerk, I feel, and I've been there for many years, so I can recognize it. Yeah. So first was Adya. I don't know what came first, but I remember reading this from Adya Shanti. And second was when I went to Ramesh, and Ramesh said, I said, yes, this is so nice. I come here, I listen to you, and it's so good. But what about my wife, my family? She's just not interested in the question, who am I? So he said something which I really imbibed. It just took on in my heart. You see, he said, you wait for her to come to you. You see, because the more you push her into it, the more she will want to push it away. You see, so from that day, I don't feel I really asked her this question, who am I? And except when she's here in satsang, which itself is rare, I don't feel that I ever ask her, who are you? You see? So I know that Grace is taking care of it, and when she's done with the play, when she's open to this urge of self-recognition, she will ask. And in any way, what I've seen is that the way her expression is playing is much more devotional. Her love for Guruji is unmatched, you see. So that is enough. Why do I need to force my ways on her? Also, something happened just a year ago, actually, which was also an eye-opener for me, where she said that we were just, she started talking, I started talking, we got into, as all married couples do, very quickly we got into a squabble about something. If I was someone who had come to your satsang, you would not be reacting like this. And I looked at that, and she had said this before, but for the first time, it took home, you see. Because we've known each other 22 years, we've had more time together than not with each other in our lives, you see. So it has become a habit to relate to each other as partners. So I saw, even now, only about a year ago, I saw that what she's saying is absolutely true. Why am I not able to look at her fresh? Why is it that I carry conditioning about this relationship? So this was very eye-opening here, and I feel, and maybe we should check with her actually rather than taking my testimony, but ever since this recognition came, the feeling here is to see see her in that moment as if it is fresh. You see? And I feel that greatly in our phenomenal play of the relationship also, you find much more space, much more love is here. You see? So little bit, of course, there's always something or the other going on. That is the masala of a marriage, but but there's a lot more space, a lot more love and peace in our marriage now when we come to this recognition. So these 2-3 things have helped in terms of the marriage. The good advice is not to try and Advaita it too much, you see. You'll find it funny coming from me. If you try to
No, it
Advaita it
is
away.
fine. It is fine, Father. The only thing is, you know, talking about the spirituality and finding the true nature is one thing, but at least before that, even if the person does not exist, it has to be a good responsible person. If I'm here in
Yeah.
the world, I'm supposed to be a good a responsible person undertaking all my responsibilities, even if I have this false belief, and then the transcendence comes. I'm not even a good person, and then to say that, no. As a person, I don't exist. I don't care about it. Look, that is all in the realm of the Maya or Leela. I can say I can have any kind of a belief in this, but the thing is, when all is one, and that is experienced also. It is not that it is a concept for me. It is seen that if I am not a person, then nobody is a person. It is all one energy, one grace, which is speaking actually. It is just a thought that I am a person. Otherwise, it is the same power. So when it is realized also, whatever role I am playing, I should be playing well. Now, the thing is, then another thought comes. Another thought comes is, look, you have to ignore this thought that you should be playing the right kind of a role. Which one to believe? Which one to believe? In my path, in my transcendence path, this will always come. No. You see, you should be a good person. You should be responsible. You should be this. Wife is saying, it is so convenient. Now to get trapped into this, if at all it is a trap in the play, I have to transcend the play. I have to actually, it is very painful that, others they get hurt and they get suffered, but I have to transcend this because this is a simple concept. This is a simple concept. But then another thought comes that if you are and others are same, then you cannot make them suffer, no? You cannot make them suffer. Either they realize that they are also God and they are playing out. But if they don't realize that they are God and they are playing out, then it doesn't make any sense.
Okay,
So
so
you understand
yes,
my
yes,
question
yes,
now?
yes, exactly. This is what I'm saying, that this one, even our wives will agree that the best husband to have is a surrendered husband. So I will give you a guarantee that as you are surrendered at the feet of Guruji, you will also transform into a very loving husband, very spacious husband to have. You don't take on the project yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Right, Father. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear. Okay, first Zia can come, we finish our conversation, and then Aparna can come. I don't know whether she heard what I said. Zia can come first, and then Aparna can come.
Hi, Father.
Hello.
Yeah, I didn't hear the last bit of the conversation, but you were saying to check to see if this was true. There shouldn't be any suffering. Is that it?
Yes. Are you going to be standing like this?
Well, I have. Okay, I'll try and hold the laptop here. Is that better?
Yes, much better.
Okay.
This is So, first thing to check was whether this is a discovery and we're sharing with a sense of wonder that, oh, there's nobody here to even believe or not believe. You see? It's like this.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so amazing, so beautiful. So,
But
or is it
sorry.
some sort of a defense? Is it a discovery or a defense?
Well, what was happening was there was so much suffering, and I was walking, and I'd been doing like everything, like inquiring and everything, all the pointers that you give, and then suddenly it just dropped, and there was this thing from the place of well, from everything. And this just absolute laughter of just
Yes.
how all of that effort of inquiring and not believing your next thought and doing a mantra, and how all of that was just completely beside the point. And it was just like, well, there's nothing. It either arises and spontaneously the inquiry will, which will supposedly lead to this seeing from the truth, but actually what was seen is that it can just drop regardless of everything.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
I was just like questioning, well, even satsang, even this is part of the whole play as well. And there was kind of this like frustration that came amongst it, because it was just like, well, there's nothing I can do, there's nothing I can do, and if I'm identified, then that's what is part of the script for Zia. And it just seemed like, well, so I'm going to suffer then. I'm going to suffer if there's suffering pre-programmed into this one's experience, and it's going to drop when it's going to drop. You know?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so this is very important point, and it is a bit subtle. So just let's all stay with this for a minute, because it's really, really important. And I want all of you to hear this, because when it is happening to you, you will be able to spot it then. So when there is suffering, what can happen is 3 or 4 alternatives. First is, when there is suffering, then we can keep believing our thoughts and our suffering thoughts, and then we can go for a drink to drown our sorrows. We can do various things. These are mostly when you're not in satsang. This is how you get over suffering, isn't it? We keep thinking about it, try to come to some mental resolution of the suffering, or try to distract our minds, try to get away from the situation, try to feel better. We do all of these things. You see? So this is the first. The second is that when there is suffering, then the words which we hear in satsang, they come. And they're coming and they're saying, don't believe your next thought. Who am I? Who is it? Can I find the sufferer? And when it is looked into like this, you find that many times that the suffering energy or the ideas that were being bought, thereby creating the resistance, suffering in the first place, they themselves start to dissolve. You see? So this is the second alternative, which deepens our recognition and it deepens our dropping of the conditioning. The third thing that can happen is that we're using the words of satsang just conceptually. You see? And you find that there is no relief coming from the words. There is nothing that is really helping. And then a concept comes, like there is nothing to be done, or nobody here to do anything at all. And this in itself is a spacious concept the first time. So this gives some relief. Then, because this gives some relief, a sense of relief comes, and we see that there is nobody here to do anything. Then the mind plays a trick and says, okay, now you must just hold on to this. You see? So that which was just insight from a pure seeing, that there is no sufferer, there is nobody here who can do anything in the first place, that itself inside the mind tries to make it into a concept. And then this concept itself gets used to be a defense against all of that which we heard, which led to the insight in the first place. You see? So the point of all of the pointings is to bring you to this insight into the reality of what you are. And when it comes, you find that there is nobody here, there was no doer at all. You see? And it comes with a sense of relief. But it is not the concept which led to the relief. It is the insight which led to the relief. Isn't it? Because we could be, so the trouble with this sometimes which I've seen, in fact quite often now that I've seen, is that once it is mistaken that it is the concept which brought about the freedom from the relief, then that becomes a state of a lot of dichotomy. So when next time the suffering comes, and we say, oh, but there's nobody here to do anything, I can't do anything at all, nothing is happening to me. But actually the sense of suffering is still being experienced. And we get frustrated that the concept is not working. In fact, is leading to more dichotomy within me. You see? Then it becomes a very stuck sort of state. Because the suffering is coming and also the concept, which is ultimately true, is trying to fight that state of suffering. So it's like you're stuck in this, as Guruji says, the snake and the mongoose. You get stuck like that, you see. So to stay with the recognition that there is nobody here, to stay with the insight that there is nobody here, is different from the concept that there is nobody here. And it is not the concept which will help, but the insight. Now, all the pointings of satsang are used so that we can come to this same space of insight about who we are. You see? Now, why I'm cautioning all of you against this one is that many times we get confused about this and we take on the concept itself that there is nobody here as a defense mechanism. You see, that's why I said it's very important to keep checking. Am I sharing it as a discovery? Saying, wow, there is nobody here. I found that there is nothing to be done. It just drops itself. You see? You see? Or saying that, oh, but you know, it is not at all helpful what you shared in satsang, because actually there is nothing that can be done, because so then it smells conceptual, you see, because what happens is that you know for yourself that these pointers, don't believe your next thought, are you aware now, can you stop being, all of these are very helpful. So if you find that something is trying to defend the concept of the insight that you received versus feeling happy and grateful for all of those things which got us to the point of this insight, then we must see whether something is trying to get hold as a mental idea, and then you will be able to smell the difference. So when you say, yes, actually there is nothing ever to be done, nobody here to do anything, everything, the play of Zia, is just happening on its own. You see, it's just happening on its own. The suffering and the dropping, all of this. You see, it seems so beautifully that there was nobody here to do anything at all. But in that, it will not come with this sense that, okay, but even satsang is not needed, you see, because everything is happening on its own. You see, so although that moment of
I'm
insight was
sorry.
like that.
Sorry, I have to stand up because there's only Wi-Fi right by the window,
Okay.
and I missed half of what you said because I moved the computer.
Oh.
sorry, but
It's okay, my dear.
I really hear what you say, and there was definitely that moment of like relief. Maybe I can hold it up like this. There was definitely that moment of relief when it all dropped, and there was just like, oh well, there was all of that inquiring and not believing my thought and feeling all the feelings and letting them like course through the body and doing all of that stuff. It was seen like, well, all of that doesn't really have any relevance because it's like, what do you say, the bird and the coconut? It seems to like be cause and effect, but really it has nothing to do with it. And so there is this sense of just like personal frustration now, because it's now I'm back identified as this. Well, I'm not really, but more so than I was, and it's just like, well, the thoughts come. If I'm going to suffer, I'm going to suffer. If I'm going to believe this thought, then I'm going to believe this thought. And if I'm going to inquire, then that's going to arise all naturally and spontaneously. So there is this like energy of like, I can't do anything. I literally can't do anything. And it's completely the will of God. And in that, there is this huge relief, but there's also this knowing that identity will play if it wants to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And suffering will happen if it has to.
Yes.
Sorry, Father, I feel like a complete challenging jerk, but it's what's been seen.
It's good like this. It's very important that you come to satsang with all of this.
Yeah.
You see? It's very, very important. Now, let's look together and see whether once it is accepted that everything is the will of God, can there truly be suffering?
No, not the ultimate reality. There's no suffering. No.
No, even phenomenally, now, once we say that, okay, everything is the will of God, you see, that means we've opened ourselves out, there's no resistance, it's a simple allowing. Isn't it? Because we are allowing the will of God, there is nobody separate to do anything at all anyway. So our fists are completely open. You see? Now you will find that without resistance, without creating a closure or in some way, without closing our fists in some way, really the sense of suffering cannot be. The sense of pain can come. The sense of even emotional pain can come. But to say that I am suffering cannot happen because it is all the will of God. Now the mind will come and say, but yes, but even suffering has to come, even that is the will of God. You see, and I've heard this often. It is actually a sort of an oxymoron to say that everything is the will of God is the state of complete openness. And a state of complete openness, we cannot find ourselves suffering. You see? So just remain open like that and see if it is possible for any suffering to come.
How do you define suffering? Because you said emotional pain, and emotional pain, that's how I define suffering.
Yeah. Emotional pain just means that there's a sense of the urge to be with someone or something like that, or there's a sense of hurt about what somebody said without it actually yet translating into something which is taken mentally or something like that. If you have a phone interaction, or suppose I say something to you very mean right now, some sense of pain will come, you see, without it even being taken mentally. You see? So that is what you would mean by pain. But for it to become suffering, you have to get Zia into the picture, isn't it? You have to get identity into the picture. But there is no Zia. Everything is the will of God. God is doing and God is experiencing. You see? So if we are there, if we are open like that, then actually it is not suffering. If there is suffering, then we must inquire into who is the sufferer, who is doing the inquiry, or we must at least remind ourselves that it is all the will of God. And you will find that if this is coming from a place of insight, it is the suffering which dissolves. You see? Otherwise, what can happen is that we can take it conceptually that all is the will of God, and even if suffering is coming, there's nothing that I can do about it. I've heard many speak like this. And this is when this concept, it's all the will of God, is just taken mentally. Once it is seen, once it is our living experience that everything is the will of God, then we cannot say everything is the will of God and yet I am suffering, except momentarily.
But Father, but then this has been seen many times here, and yet still there's suffering. You know,
Yes,
like
because it is
there'll
not,
be.
it is not important what has been seen. It is only important what you are seeing.
Yeah.
We cannot refer, like we spoke once earlier also, we cannot refer to past recognition.
Yeah, it's true.
We must rely on our present living experience. And as you're opening out like this is very beautiful words. You see, everything is the will of God. Everything is the will of God. Then there is no Zia. God is the doer. God is the experiencer. Now show me suffering.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just when like a really heavy kind of feeling in the body comes, or when like a huge anxious energy comes, that there's a labeling of that as suffering. But even when that is flowing through the body or being experienced, it's just it's known that it's not true. It's known that the thoughts accompanying these feelings and sensations aren't true, and that everything is scripted and like pre-programmed. But yet there's a labeling of that as suffering, and there doesn't
Yes.
seem that there can be anything.
What you said very rightly is that the labeling of that is suffering. Actually, the labeling itself is suffering. The minute we label it, it is suffering. You see? Now, of course, it is completely God's will whether to label or not. You see?
Yeah.
So, this conversation is just God reminding himself not to label.
Father.
You see, because if you say there's nothing for Zia to do, I've never been talking to Zia in the first place, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know there's nothing for Zia to do because Zia doesn't exist. Now, why does God need a reminder for himself? God made it like that.
Doesn't. It doesn't need a reminder. This is all part of the play.
Yes, but somehow, somehow,
Sorry,
this is the
Father.
way it is. No, it's very good. I have also contemplated these questions many times. So, what is it that, why is it that God would need a reminder? It is just that the way that this play is designed.
Yeah.
That God comes to this space in the play where God is reminding himself not to believe his thoughts. God is reminding himself to inquire into who he is or she is. You see?
Yeah.
It is the way the play is designed. But what I am warning, cautioning all of you against is that aspect of the play in which the insight takes on the role of being concepts, and they come into some sort of a ceasefire. You see? They come into some sort of a ceasefire with your suffering and say, you see, I am going to suffer only. Okay, if it is destined in Zia's horoscope, then suffering will happen. Who am I to? You see, because then, if you are looking at that situation from the perspective of Zia, again, then that is trouble. You see.
Yeah.
You see?
But Father,
Now we
if
spoke
that
about
happens,
this here also, that when that urge in that emptiness, it can seem so wobbly and fearful, and sometimes it can be that our life situations are giving us so much trouble that an idea comes along which seems like it is the truth. You see? So another tip for you is that if you find yourself trying to just rely on a idea instead of the idea being a pointer to something, the idea itself will not be the end of suffering. You see, it must point to something. It must remove something, some idea, some concept. Only then the idea is useful. So let's original question, which was, who's here to do the inquiry? And what is the answer?
there's no one here to do the inquiry.
And who is the one that is speaking these words?
I don't even know. It's just a voice coming out.
Uh, so would you say that you exist or no?
I can't say I exist as a separate entity.
But do you exist
But
or
there
no?
is an energy construct in the body which makes me feel confined here.
So would you say that the difference in the sleep state and the waking state is that in the waking state there is a body and then there is a you?
There was just a complete association to your question. I couldn't hear a word of it. Can you repeat it?
Yes. I said that would you
Something's
say
feeling
that?
attacked,
Yes.
Father.
How does it happen? He just was
Something's
here,
feeling
no?
defensive. Huh? What did you say?
I said, how does this happen? You were just here.
I told you not to let me go.
So this, I was saying that.
Father, what do I do? Because I know there's no one here.
Yes,
and I know that if I'm going to suffer, I'm going to suffer.
And this one who knows no one is here is which one?
I don't know. I don't know, Father.
Well, how we say, suppose you met someone on the street and they said, "Oh, I know there's no one here." Then won't you say, "But who is the one that knows?"
Yeah, but you can't say who's the one that knows.
You can't see or say.
Say.
Yes,
How
but
do
can
you
you
say?
see the one that knows?
No.
You mean not phenomenally, but you are aware of the existence of this one, no?
Well, even non-phenomenally, there's like this energy in like this other realm that I can see, but that's not me because that can be perceived. But I always get confused when someone says, "Can you see it non-phenomenally?" Because I think, well, is that energy that I can see me? But then even that is perceived.
Okay, so when I say, "Are you aware now?" what happens?
I'm aware.
And this is you're sure you're aware?
I'm not aware.
Huh?
I'm not aware.
Is here?
Hmm?
When you say, "Are you aware now?" you say awareness is here. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. So this seeing that awareness is here, or this statement that awareness is here, is it based on a concept or is it based on direct experience?
There is a direct experience that there's just awareness of every situation, of the mind, the emotions, of the body, of everything, all being inside of me. There is this awareness.
Yes, but why do we say, why do we not say there's a tasting of them or something? We use a specific word, awareness. What does that mean?
I don't know, Father.
Yes, but are you open to looking?
Yeah, but I don't know what you mean by your question.
Hmm?
I feel like to trick me.
The question? Are you channeling somebody?
I just feel like it's so clear, Father.
Azhar says you're channeling him.
It's so clear. This happened last time with Muji when I said
Your
this
voice is breaking
divine
up.
robot.
Your voice is breaking up again.
Here, Father, and now you're trying to put me back into the mind, and I'm angry about it because there's no one here. Why are you trying to tell me that there is? Sorry.
Yes, yes. So the one that is clear that nobody is here, can that be attacked?
No, no. But this isn't happening. This isn't real. This character. Oh. it's not even. I'm like flipping between the two. It's really confusing. Oh, Father, what's going on? Okay.
It is actually in moments like this that it is in moments like this that I hope that you love me enough to remain open to me. You see?
There is this sense of like, even satsang is a lie.
Yes, yes, yes. That's why I'm saying that it is now that even when we come to this point where even my words start to seem like some sort of attack, then, and very quickly this will translate into, if it is allowed to go like this, it will translate into, but I don't want to inquire anymore. I don't want to look with you. You see, because you're just attacking me. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if there's a sense that I'm being attacked, you see, then are we open to inquiring into the question, what is it that I'm holding on to, which now feels like it's being attacked even in satsang?
Yeah, I'm really open. I'm really open to that.
Very good, very good. So otherwise what can happen is that around an Advaita concept, our mind will make some defenses very, very strongly.
Yes.
And then even my word will not resonate for some time. It will seem like you want a break or you want some space because the insights that you're coming to, they're giving you some sense of peace from the suffering or something like that. You see? So all our concepts. Is that a fair deal?
Say again for me, because you cut out.
Yes. If both of us drop all our concepts, is that a fair deal?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Father. I don't know what just happened. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm
It's
so
good.
sorry.
It's very good. I'm very happy
I
you're in
don't know.
satsang.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very happy you're in satsang.
There's just
So
so much
let's both.
suffering the past 2 days. Sorry.
Yes, you remember when we spoke about this? Okay, we'll talk. We can talk about this for a minute and then go back to what I was saying earlier, which is that you remember what I was saying while you were here, that sometimes there can be so much suffering, and we don't want to go back into that state of suffering. And sometimes it feels like I found a lifeline in a concept. You see, and if anyone comes to you and says, let's inquire into this concept together, it'll start seeming like an attack. We had this conversation while you were here, isn't it? Because the state of suffering is too much. We want to hang on to something. And I'm not saying leave anything actually. I'm just saying, can we look together? You see? But even the invitation to look together starts seeming like an attack. You see? Because the state of suffering is scary. But no concept is the truth. All concepts must be used to bring us to this openness, this neutrality, this nakedness. So if we find ourselves defending something, if we find ourselves feeling attacked, then we must be open to inquiring, what is it that I'm holding on to? Without that, how can you be attacked? What part of you can be attacked?
Oh, God. Nothing can be attacked unless I'm holding on to some sort of sense that I am this person.
Yes, or even the idea that I am nothing. If it is being held on to, then it will seem like it's being attacked. Like you were saying,
Yeah.
you are trying to
Yeah.
make something out of me again.
Yeah.
You really feel I would do something like that?
The mind. Sorry.
You see?
But then the
So it is
thought
like this,
comes.
that the something which is trying to be made is only when we are holding on to any concept, including the concept that I am nothing. You see? So what is fighting back, saying you are trying to make something out of me actually? You see? The one that is pretending
Yeah.
to be this nothing something is the one that we are inquiring into.
But it will still drop when it drops. There's like all of this drama that's just gone on between this conversation. That all had to happen. That all just had to happen like that. There's no other way for it to play out.
Yes, yes, yes. This is true. That all of this in the play has to happen as the way it is meant to happen.
And there's huge relief in that.
Hmm?
But also the thought that there's nothing that I can do. And if it drops, it's gonna drop. And if it
Yes,
doesn't,
but this is very good. This is very good. So this I that sneaked into this is which one?
it's a thought that's believed because of the seeing happened.
Yes. So the
So
inquiry is just an invitation to check on who is this I. You see? So the difference between traditional Advaita and new Advaita is that this sense of I, which says there is nothing I can do about it. This in traditional
mm,
Advaita is constantly inquired into. Who is this I? There is openness to this inquiry to see that there is nobody here who is suffering, nobody here who is the doer. Really, with belief, say, who is this? Or we would not with belief say that there is nothing I can do, because this one doesn't exist. There's nothing I can do would mean that I am powerless against this, isn't it?
yeah, I feel completely powerless, like
Yes, yes,
completely out of control, and not in a bad way, but just like completely out of control. Like
yes,
I
yes.
cannot
So
control what is coming out of my mouth. I can't control the way I just reacted to you, which I'm really sorry about.
it's completely fine, my dear. I'm so happy that you come and do it. It's very important. That I've been saying this, that it's very important when you're feeling like this to keep coming. You see, that's why I said that in these moments, I just hope that there's enough love and devotion here so that we can be open to continue to communicate. Because in this moment, it will seem like everything I'm saying is an attack without the openness to check, but what is it that can be attacked? How is it that the one who is pointing me to this nothingness could now be trying to make something out of me? You see? This is what the
Because
mind will come
maybe
and
God
say.
wants to carry on playing.
Huh?
Maybe God wants to carry on playing.
Yes, but who are you in this picture?
The one pretending to be
Because your
Leah.
word. I am nothing, I don't exist, there is nobody here. But there was a sense which was saying that I am just a powerless nobody in this picture. So I'll just leave for God to do what He wants with this life. It's not like that. The discovery must be that I am this nothingness. And my dynamic aspect, which is called God, is playing this life. It is not this powerlessness, this starting point of satsang, but cannot be the discovery in satsang.
I can just feel like huge suffering in the body now.
Yes, so don't run from that.
But I've done all of this, Father. I've like sat through hours of.
Don't refer to the past. Don't refer to the past.
It just doesn't seem to, all of this transcendence doesn't actually seem to do anything, because you can transcend and transcend and transcend, but then have a moment of clear seeing and realize that all of the transcending is all part of the play, and it's all been written like that.
Yes, but if you are having to refer to the past moment of seeing that I saw this inside, it was all part of the play, and I'm just going to rely on that and use that as a band-aid for every time suffering is coming, it is only going to cause more and more trouble. It will not be the freedom from suffering which it is promising to be right now. If it is true, why isn't it here now? Why do you have to refer to the past transcendence or that moment of insight? How does that moment of insight differ from this moment of insight?
I don't know, because it's been written like this. I'm meant to be feeling like this now. I'm meant to be identified now. I'm meant to be that way. That's the way. If God didn't want to suffer, it wouldn't. It's so clear. It would just wake up. It would just wake up. It's God. It doesn't need to be reminded. I'm sorry, Father, but I just. How can I see so clearly and then be so deluded? It must only be because God wants to be deluded.
Yes. Everything is only because God wants it to be that way.
But
So
then
is
I think,
God
why on
open
earth would I want? Sorry, there's a time lag, and it sounds like I'm cutting you off, but there's a time lag on them.
So is God open to looking at who I is right now or no?
There can be no one found when it's looked for.
And who makes that discovery?
I can't say.
So this, that there is nobody found, is it your finding or no?
I don't know who's finding it as Father.
Yes, but there is something which is finding this, isn't it? You're not just making a statement that there is nobody here.
No.
There is a discovery of this, isn't it?
It's just like an awareness of the presence inside this body.
Yes. There's an awareness of this presence. And the one that is aware of this awareness of presence, is it different from the awareness itself?
No.
Now, is there, so there is awareness and there is presence. Is there any other entity here?
Is there any other one?
Huh?
I didn't hear you. Is there any other?
Is there any entity or some object here which you could call you?
Just sensations.
Yes, sensations are also part of your presence, isn't it? What do you see? Is there somebody here who could suffer?
No one can suffer, but the feelings that are associated with suffering are. There's no one suffering them. There's someone experiencing them. There's something. They're being experienced.
Is there somebody here that can be attacked?
But the reactions in the body. No, that's just a memory. That's just a memory. No.
Is there a sense that some sense of this presence? Like too much suffering or something like that?
No.
You're aware of this or no?
I don't even know.
This is your direct living experience, isn't it? It is not some just conceptual word that you're speaking now.
And even then, there was this awareness of this contraction of energy which moved into the shape body and had like the sensation of suffering. But even that was witnessed. That was seemed to be coming back into this kind of pretend personal shape. And there was an urge to go and identify with that energy and be the one that's suffering and the one that's looking like an idiot. But that, even that being, all of that is being watched.
Yes, all of this is being watched. Now, if the sensation is coming, even if attention goes to it, could you say that you can identify with it just with your attention?
No.
You see, so identification cannot be caused just with our attention. Now the mind will come and say, yes, all of this is actually happening to you. You see? Now what is God deciding to do now? Because God knows that it is not happening, it is seeing. There is just some sensations are appearing and nothing is happening to the awareness and nothing is happening even to the presence. In that way, these thoughts are just allowed to come and go. Now, if I was to say there is no awareness, what would you say?
And so there has to be some other word for this.
Yes. Exactly. But if I was to really just say that there is no such thing as awareness, then
I don't know what this is. No, I don't know what this is. If this is awareness of everything. Of
No, we
self.
don't hear you now.
You don't hear me? Hello?
It is not audible.
Oh. You asked what would the word. Sorry, what? Can you hear me?
No, we still don't hear you, my dear. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Oh.
So if I said that there is no awareness, it is just a functioning of your body mind, what would you say?
I'd say, well, what was aware of the body mind?
Yes, very good. And if I was to say there is awareness itself does not exist,
And what would it? It didn't exist.
very good. And if I was to say, but you are not this awareness,
What knows that it's not the awareness? Because you have to be aware that something is other or seemingly other.
yes. And if I was to say, but you can actually separate yourself out from this awareness.
No. Everything arises in it.
And if I was to say that this awareness that you are can suffer,
Not suffer.
and if I was to say that this awareness has a past and a future,
It's always now.
now if I was to say that this awareness has something to transcend,
Never had anything to transcend. It's completely. It's complete. It's beyond complete. It doesn't even know the meaning of complete.
very good, very good. And if I was to say you better find your way back to Bangalore soon, you don't go Advaita on me now. Very good. I'm so happy you came to Satsang today. Very, very happy with this. Very, very happy about it. Very good. Before I forget, tomorrow we have Guru Purnima Satsang at Radha's house. All of you know? Tomorrow you know? We have Guru Purnima Satsang at Radha's house. Huh? Mm. Yeah, it's there. It's there. So we all, some of us will leave from here. We can go together, no? Some of us. So whatever is convenient, either you can go there directly, or if this is more convenient, we can all leave from here also. You have to do some setup there. What time you feel to leave? You went very early, no? Last. Everyone is going early to set up. Okay. I'll leave at about 3:30, 3:15, 3:30. 2.5. Very good. Yeah, just like this. Just some of you are typing in the YouTube also. Just give power to your fresh insight. If you find yourself referring to, then it can be safely discarded, because the truth is not coming and going. The avoidance of the present moment is what the mind tries to do. The avoidance of some sensation, the avoidance of some seeming suffering. You see? If you find yourself closed in any way, if you find yourself defending or attacking anything, just smell for your own openness, and you will see that all of this becomes much simpler. No concept will bring us to the truth. Our emptiness is conceptless. Very good. Thank you all so very much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Mujiji ki Jai.